So the latest issue with my Clam is that I moved him, which I think was stupid.
Reefers.
What's going on, everybody? This is Micah. Welcome back to another episode. Got a lot of stuff to go over with dosing, with my Clam, just with what's been going on with the tank as everything has been kind of settling in and stabilizing. Everyone, if you've been watching my previous episodes, you know that I've been sort of struggling with my alkalinity levels. I've been chasing that number, trying to really just get stability, not really chasing a number so much as I am just trying to get everything to be stable and stay the same. So far, the last 3 days, I have been at 9.5 like consistently. The first week that I started using Mrs. Wages, I did the 5 teaspoons because I did 5 gallons of RO water. That seemed to be a little bit high, so towards the end I was doing like topping off with the calc once, like in the morning, and then at night, or vice versa, I was doing just regular RO water just to kind of balance it out, because I got up to about 9.8. I didn't really want to get to 10, so I was just trying to keep it, you know, right around there. 9.5 was where I wanted to be ideally. So towards the end, you know, when I ran out, I was starting to feel out the tank. I was testing twice a day. I was testing my alkalinity in the morning, testing my alkalinity at night, and then, I mean, because that basically, you know, would tell me what I needed to dose. Did I needed to put some calc water in, or did I needed to put just regular RO water in? So I've become a little in tune with what my tank has been doing, which has been nice, but I'll tell you what, it's kind of a pain to test twice a day to try to keep up with everything. But I think now I have finally started to make some ground on it. I ran through that 5 gallons of RO water, and now when I remixed it, I mixed it at 4 teaspoons per 5 gallons, and that really seems to be the magic number. So far it has been stable the last 3 days at 9.5 with just topping off with the Kalkwasser. And even though that there has been some alkalinity fluctuations, it hasn't been much. It's really just been between 9.5 and 9.8. And then towards the end of the week, I was really steady at like 9.65, just because I was kind of really getting in tune, testing twice a day, and then knowing, you know, what to dose at that point. So feeling pretty good about where the tank is at right now and where my Kalkwasser mix is at. And so far, I've been seeing really nice results from using it. I've seen a lot of color come out in the corals, especially my acros and my SPS. And so, I mean, so far so good. I'm really enjoying it. Seen actually a lot of growth. I did a weird little papaya clove video like a week or so ago, and since then I've already had like 3 new heads of that pop up. I'll show you guys in just a second. Overall, really happy with the Mrs. Wages. I'm gonna keep doing that. I mix it with a power head for about 30 minutes to an hour, let it sit overnight in that bucket, and then I pump it out into my container, just to try to keep as much of that build up out of there as possible. Alright, let's take some close-up looks. Goniopora has been steadily growing. I have tons of little new polyps coming up in between. I think that's how you tell if it's growing or not. You can see all the little heads in between the big polyps. So that's all new growth. Been getting good coloration from these acros. That green has really become prominent lately, so that's pretty awesome. I had this piece and not enough light, so I moved him out here, and he's starting to regain his color, starting to grow back. I am about to move this piece up. It's starting to show really good coloration. I'm starting to see red polyps. It's got kind of a red tip. This piece right here I picked up. Okay, so I think it's called a setting sun Montipora. Let's see if we can see. It has yellow polyps with a red base, and it grows crazy fast. It has been encrusting on that frag plug. It's almost to the edge now. It's growing really fast. I got a yellow scroll, kind of a cousin to the pagoda cup. Really like the colors of that. Been wanting to get one for a while. I think that's a Lobo. Correct me if I'm wrong. It may not be a Lobo. It's been doing pretty well in that back corner, sort of shaded. The Duncan has been growing. gaining a lot of size. I moved this Birds of Paradise piece, and the polyp extension on it is ridiculous. I don't know if I'll be able to get a good shot of it or not. So if you can see these polyps there, just crazy. However, I think there's a little bit of bleaching going on. I might have it in too high of light right now, so I might move it down. The Utter Chaos has a new polyp coming up on top. You can sort of see there. All the acans are plump and happy, starting to grow like crazy. This green one started out with just 2 heads. And my green star polyps, although not open, I think there's a snail or something that was bugging them, it's finally starting to grow on the glass. The Penape bird's nest is doing awesome, continuing to grow. My neon green bird's nest right there is not so neon green anymore. I moved it up too fast. Still bleached out, but it's got decent polyp extension. This is that same acro piece that I had down below. It's encrusting nicely. Again, that green is starting to show. It's real prominent. This is my very first acro piece. The bottom died when I had my urchin in here, but it has since recovered and is still growing. I believe it's a Cali tort. And those zoas right there are Captain Americas. I finally mounted them. They were just kind of stuck up there in a random spot, so they've been much happier since I moved them up. The bigger colony is starting to color up. Has decent polyp extension still. Not sure what color it's going to be. This is a staghorn. I think it's a purple maybe, but it's starting to recover as well. Slowly but surely. It's got decent polyp extension. It is still basing out and crusting over that plug. Just happy to see growth. You know, color will come eventually. My little Monty garden. I was trying to get them to grow together, but they seem to be just battling. Spongeode kills the Season's Greeting. The Red Monty kills the Season's Greeting. The Season's Greeting kills the Pink Monty. But I'm just going to let it keep going. So this is a bigger mini colony of those little frags that I have around the tank. And it's been growing pretty fast, getting good coloration out of it. The only thing I don't have really anymore is polyp extension. In the very beginning when I had them, I had really good polyp extension on it, but I don't know. I'm still getting good growth and good color, so I guess that's good enough. I have awesome polyps at night, so you know, I feed them reefroids and do what I can. And this piece is still trying to color up as well. It's got good polyps, it's encrusting a lot. It hasn't really grown upwards too much, but still getting decent coloration and good growth. The nymph is still growing, hasn't split yet, so that's awesome. I want them to get nice and fat. So the latest issue with my clam is that I moved him, which I think was stupid. I should have just left him where he was. I've got too much flow over here, and I don't know, I was thinking maybe he needed more light. He was always on his side, but he was always really open and extended. And I don't know if you can tell here, he's just not looking happy. His mantle is kind of curled up, and it's being blown around too much. And now he's attached to that rock as well, so I can't move him. He initially started in this back corner back there. Here, I'll show you guys. He initially started in this corner right here and has moved himself all the way over there. So I know he can't be too happy. I mean, he's now not even in any direct light. He's underneath that ledge. I should have just left him alone. He was open, he was happy. Stupid. So we'll see what happens. If he detaches, I might try to take advantage of it and move him back. I could just have too much flow in here as well. I don't know, this is the lower flow spot in the tank. That's why I put the cloves over here. I just mounted them here so they're a little unhappy, but you can see all the new cloves that are popping up in just a week. It's like 2 or 3 or 4 new heads. It's pretty awesome. Can't wait to see a huge colony of those. The papayas are some of my favorite. The coloration is just unbelievable. I believe it was Reef Girl that spotted the giant vermitid snail I had questions about on this piece of coral. Well, actually I had questions about it growing on my clam, but there's one also growing on this piece of coral too. You can see it wrapping around here. That white spot is super glue. He was extending a net all the way over that was reaching onto this hammer here. In fact, you might still be able to see remnants of the net. Maybe not, but yeah, I think it was bugging him. I mean, it was really cool to watch. He would extend the net and then bring it in, and so he's just, I guess, a giant vermitid snail, which is very interesting. Kind of creepy to watch, but very interesting. So I didn't really want him bugging the hammer. So I went ahead and just put some super glue on him. Feel a little bad about it, but it's for the greater good, I guess. I mean, some people could look at him as a filter feeder, which, I mean, maybe I could have moved that piece of coral down to the sump. But I like those zoas, so I guess I'm selfish. So, plus I have tons of vermitid snails in here, the tiny ones. Here's another frag piece of that mini colony. Nice coloration. I'm still not sure what this Monty piece is. I think it's an encrusting. It's got blue polyps. I think I see a little bit of green starting to come up in the base. Here's another frag piece of that, and I've just been sort of hanging on to, keeping it on a frag plug till I decide on what to do with it. I also picked up this purple Recordia. It's pretty tiny right now, but very pretty. So excited for that to grow out. I put the little octospawn piece that fell off on a frag plug. It's doing pretty good. So that's sort of what's been going on with the tank. I may have found the sweet spot with the calc. Struggling with the clam. I hope I don't lose him, but it's not looking good. From what I've read, those kind of look like the beginning signs of pinched mantle. Which, I mean, I guess I could do a freshwater dip, but I don't know how I'm going to remove him since he's attached to the rock. I put a seashell down under there, hoping he would attach like a half of a clam or an oyster shell. I guess maybe it was a clam. But he didn't attach to that. So I'm not really sure what to do. We'll just kind of leave him alone. I figure if he doesn't like that spot, he can move himself. He's been pretty proficient at moving him. So we'll see what happens.